live?
Are we live?
Live!
Yes!
Yes!
Yo! It is another edition of the High Hopes Podcast presented by Miller Lite, official sponsor of the Philadelphia Phillies. Tastes like Miller Time Philadelphia. Celebrate responsibly. No idea what to do with Theo there. What do you do when they split? They score 16 runs on Friday. They lose 10-1 yesterday. Like, honestly, Jack, we were like, oh, let's do the pod because we love our listeners and we just want to talk to them. And it's like, why not? I got very little to say coming off this weekend.
Yeah.
The injuries are really like the only thing that I'm thinking about right now. Like, that's the only thing that I felt like I could have any lasting effects.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I have two thoughts.
Okay, good.
To open the podcast.
Good.
One, when did you turn it off yesterday?
When did I turn it off?
How long into the
question.
game did you make?
Yeah, great question. It was the 5th inning. 10-0.
Wow.
Yes. I turned it off and I went to another football game. So 2 TVs with the football games, and I opened the ESPN score. I was going to put the game on my computer. I was like, no, you know what? They don't even deserve it. I just opened up the ESPN MLB app thing and I just kept checking and it kept being 10-0. I was like, I'm not going back.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
It was 10-0 in like the third.
Yeah.
The Seth Johnson debut was not going well.
I almost, so inside baseball, I almost texted you. And then I was like, you know what? It's not worth it.
Well,
what am I going to be like? Hey, sorry about Seth Johnson, buddy.
Well,
you're excited about
first off, my first thought on Seth Johnson.
I know you tweeted out happy Seth Johnson.
Within 2 minutes, it was over. It was over. Connor Norby might be the best player in the history of baseball. I actually do like Connor Norby a lot. I'm glad he's good.
Well, I was hoping that when he hit the homer, it was like, oh, well, he knows him.
Yeah,
it's the O's thing. It'll be fine after this.
Well, my hopeful thought was like, all right, he had to get the jitters out.
There it is.
Yep.
First Major League Sorry.
Yeah. What's going to happen? the most bold thing that Seth Johnson did was wear the number 51.
Yeah.
Like Randy Johnson's number.
You're not Randy Johnson.
Can we take a deep breath
I know.
before we were putting on 51 and because your name's Johnson? So it was a real like throwback to the bad era of Phillies pitchers that I always believed in. So it was a good like, this is how it used to be.
I remember. Yeah.
Everyone like, oh, Jack's supposed to be smart, right? Oh, and then the guy gets shelled, and it's like, wow, maybe he's an idiot. So,
well, I will tell you real quick, just for you and the listeners from the pitching thing, I actually had a conversation with Emily yesterday. I won my fantasy league title again for the second year. I won the championship last year too. We'll see what happens, but I won the regular season title heading into the playoffs. But I'm saying back to regular season now. I was talking to Emily about it. I was going through, and I've led the league in ERA and WHIP the last 2 years. And I was like, I got to be honest, it's all Fritz. I was like, Fritz is amazing at picking late round pitchers. And like, I've got like Bailey Ober and all these dudes who just like crushed for me this year. So like you do know what you're talking about. Draft hitters early and let Jack pick your pitchers late. It's a great formula.
Well, and the problem with the thing that is always tough when one of these guys come up from the minor leagues and then you see them in game action is that it happened to Michael Mercado. Within 2 innings, I was like, but like,
no.
But I was like, I was kind of bullish on him. And same thing with Seth Johnson. Like the first slider that moved a millimeter, maybe I was like, I don't know. So like, there's 2 things that Seth Johnson needs. Like, there's one's a real splitter. Like he obviously has a splitter, like kind of look to him. And then he needs a more of a knuckle curve rather than a slider. Like he's more of the way he throws is more prone to get more out of, I think, a curveball / sweeper than it is a slider. Like the slider should really be a cutter. So I think eventually as a 4-pitch guy, he needs to spend about the entire offseason working on it. Because the fastball's good. Like when he can find the strike zone.
Yeah.
So I made it 3 innings. Walker was napping and like I had to do like errands and stuff, and like the early games weren't that interesting yesterday.
No, they weren't.
So
yeah, football period didn't end up being that interesting yesterday.
Yeah. Well, I forgot to bet on the 1 o'clock games.
Oh, I was driving back. Then it's like who even cares?
Yeah, who cares?
What's the point of this? What am I even doing here?
So I chose grocery shopping, and we're watching the Phils down 10-0. I didn't even turn on the radio.
No. Yeah. Again, that's what they lost privileges for me. Like I could have put them on the computer. Like I had 3 screens available to me, and I was like, no, like
not doing it today.
No,
not doing it today. And my second thought to open the podcast here is like, I just need the regular season to be over. Like I feel like it happens always early in football season where it's like, just get me to the postseason.
Yeah.
I'm so there. Like I can't deal with the Mets run. I can't deal with like the 1 or 2 seed thing or even the 3 seed. Like I'm over it. I'm over it. Stabilized, Saturday and Sunday notwithstanding. We'll get into, I guess, Saturday.
Would you be willing to take the 2 seed today for the playoffs? Like, say, like the season ends now. They're 1 game back. They don't get. You're good. Just end it.
Just end it. Just end it. Just end it. I don't need the Mets making a run. I don't need this being close. Like I want it to be over, and I want to feel right October because I can just already sense what this next month's going to be like.
Oh, it's going to be brutal.
Well, it's going to be brutal because so now they're banged up, which is obviously a big story.
The biggest to come out of the weekend. Like I don't care. Like 10. Well, I keep wanting to say 10-0 because I forget that they scored the run late. I didn't see it.
Nice.
But, I know. Let's just call
Fransky and Rube.
Let's just call it 10-0. They lost 10-0 yesterday.
Fransky, Rube, LA, and Greg Murphy.
Yeah. The biggest thing we can take away from them is the injuries. I mean, the Bohm thing, the update on that, not awesome. Sosa, just like, whoops, there we go. Like the JT thing, stays in the game, gets the hit, then he's out the next day. They bring up, Aramis Garcia, didn't even know he was someone.
Yeah, he's a spring training goat.
Clearly, that's a Marchand's hurt. Let's go to our 4th catcher.
Yeah, by the way, people tweeting me like, where's Marchand?
Yeah. Shocked.
He's hurt.
Who knew that Marchand could get hurt?
Which is a shame.
It is a shame, but it's also part of the reason that Marchand is not where he's supposed to be. It is what it is. You can't stay on the field. You're not going to be able to move.
Well, and you're not, and you bring up all his injuries, and Bryce still doesn't look great.
No, you're right. Yeah.
He's still
that one ball deep to center. I was like, look at that. And then it's like short again every time.
Whenever he swings and misses, it looks like
arms
how
about him saying he's like, yeah, you guys saw me have to put the bat down. He's like, that's probably gonna happen more.
Right.
Like, why? Why is this gonna happen more? Don't play for 2 weeks. Like, what are we doing here?
But I think that obviously, I think the biggest thing we've learned here is that it is not a Phillies decision. Like I think this.
It's a Bryce. If it were up to the team, he would be sitting. I would bet everything.
This is a Bryce decision. Whereas, I think they're opting for long-term health over winning these games right now with the Sosa, with JT. Bohm kind of felt that way, but I don't know. Like Bohm thinks.
I hated that comment. I felt like the Bohm thing was like, all right, let's get him a blow, and then he's like, it feels like I'm getting hit with a hammer every time I swing. It's like, are you kidding me, dude? That can't be good.
That's believe it or not, I don't think that's what you want to hear.
It's like, what?
It's not what you want to hear about from your third.
Not what I was expecting you to say, dude.
So the injuries are going to make the rest of the season bumpy. They just are. It's time to buckle in. It's not gonna. It's not. And by the way,
September won't be easy.
No, I don't think so.
So used to a carefree September.
So we gotta buckle in with the offense, and then who's gonna be the 5th starter?
Yeah.
I mean, we only need it.
You, Jack. We always do. People be like, put Jack Fritz out there. We're actually at the point where it's like, maybe you put Jack Fritz out there.
What's so funny is when people do that, it's like there's real NFL players here. Do it to them. It makes sense. I need you out there. Richie needs you out. Although I don't know what Richie would be anymore. Like a slot receiver.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't. Yeah. No. I think Richie would be. He'd probably be. What would Richie be?
A punter. Maybe a punter.
Safety, maybe.
Maybe. But that would make sense for me. No, everything hurts. So it's just the injuries are a huge storyline, and I mean. I think we're hoping that they're more just rest precaution versus they're actually hurt, because then again it changes everything heading into October. So yeah, the injuries are the big story over the weekend. Bryce continuing. It's officially a month now. It's officially a month since his last home run.
Is it?
Yeah. September 9th August 9th was his last home run today. Wow. September 9th. And it's been a lot of almost almost hit one on Friday. I guess he had a couple hits on Saturday.
He hit the ball. I mean, it seems like he's adjusted his approach. He said, it seems like he's doing a lot more of the spraying the ball around the field when he needs to.
Which is fine.
I mean, it's if you have to do that to be able to contribute, that's not what you want.
It is September 9th.
Yeah, I need Bryce hitting the ball out of the ballpark, man.
So in my optimistic sense is, okay, he just wants to play until they clinch the division, and then he'll sit.
Because he keeps talking about the division too. He was asked yesterday about the division, he was asked about the magic number, and he's like, I'm not even talking about it. He's like, we just gotta go, it's not over or whatever. So I do think he's got some. And look, win the division quickly, then, guys.
Right.
Like you do
As
something.
fast. We don't ask for much. Just win the division as fast as possible. Like it's like just do it. Like why can't you just do it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just every time Bryce swings and misses, like I want to just I don't
Crawl
know.
into a hole
Like
and die.
of course,
Yeah,
like
it's the
just
worst.
want to drive in my car silent and just going to nowhere.
Well, look, we've done the whole, and rightfully so, I think all season long, and really the last few years, we get it. Like, it's one of those things where, you can break down the regular season and we can overreact like we do and this and that and whatever. But at the end of the day, like, we all know that, anything can happen in the playoffs. It's the baseball playoffs. It's about getting hot. It's chaos and all that stuff. I can't imagine them going on a run without Bryce having power. Like, I can't, like, of all the little things going on right now, like, it's possible. Like, they can. Any of these, that's the thing about the baseball playoffs. Like, it's wild. Like, weird stuff happens. Like, Schwarber could Schwarber for a month, and then, who knows?
By the way, does September Schwarber clear June Schwarber?
Yeah, it was what is it? Schweptember? Schwarbtember. Okay. All right. It's either way.
A little better than Schwoon.
Yeah, much better. Schwoon is not.
Yeah,
I know.
Why is Richie?
I don't know.
At least he's ditched Halford.
Yeah, he's
very glad.
He loves wordplay.
Yeah, he's big on that, man.
He's really big on wordplay.
But Schwarber is
way better.
In on
Yeah,
Schwarber.
it really works.
We need Schwarber.
Yeah, Schwarber is what we really do, and maybe even a touch of Schwarbember.
Hey, would love to also get
Bryce Tober. How about that?
Schwarber to get a hit before the NLCS.
Yeah, don't wait. Don't. No more bits. All right.
No one. Listen, this
Speaking
team.
Of bits, our teams are going to be bringing in right-handed relievers to face Schwarber in the playoffs.
They should. Well, he only hits singles against lefties. He doesn't really hit home runs.
Messing around.
He's a little slap hitter against lefties, man.
He's still got 1,000 OPS or whatever.
He's frisky. His OPS in September is like 1,400.
Yeah.
By the way.
Well, thank God. But so that's where they theoretically they could win without heartbreaking home runs. I struggle. It's a lot harder for me to envision a magical October run if Harper's not in the ball.
So you're talking there, and I mostly agree. The one thing that with him is like I do think there's for some reason in the postseason, like he just goes Superman mode. Like
it doesn't even matter. The risk doesn't matter when he just hits home runs.
Like he in 2022,
he was out.
Torn Tommy John ligament.
Well, in 2022, he also had the Snell thing too. He had both. He had the torn Tommy John ligament. And he's coming back from his wrist being shattered. I'm with you. I do think that, but I agree with you. I expect Harper to get there eventually, but like I'm just saying, if he doesn't, I think that's a tough way to win.
And what I would just appreciate again, if they could just wrap this whole division thing up quickly, if that's what your goal here is it's just if he could just sit the last week. I don't know, something like it's not because again he can't. He's struggling to drive the baseball. I appreciate like slapping and getting hits and getting base hits and doubles, but like again, it's just such a compromised version of who he is. So but hopefully they can get the injury thing figured out because again, if they head into October like now with all these injuries happening at the wrong time, then it could very well be an early exit. And like now they're starting to lose some of their depth. And now
exactly, yeah. I mean, starters and depth. I mean, yeah.
So. Although people, I mean, was there calls to the station today? Was there people were begging for more Stubby?
We got zero.
Come on, man. You got some bunts down on Saturday. You got hit in the head.
Yeah, twice. Yeah. You got hit in the head twice.
Him and
he got hit in the head once without his helmet on and once with it on.
Him and Bryce recreated the Bob Boone Pete Rose catch. Like it was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
It was a great. It was the most Stubby game of all time.
The bat hitting the catcher. It's always just like, come on, guys. Can we do better than this? Like I don't know whose fault it was. It did seem like Subs kind of leaned forward a little bit, but still, it's like we can't have that. All right, that has to be avoidable.
Just a good ball player.
Yeah, no, he's a ball player out there.
Say, right?
Yeah,
just a good ball
player. That's right. Yeah, that's what we said about Bryson Stott all last year. Yeah,
signs of life.
Signs of life. No, for real though. All right. What injury are you most concerned about? Like when you look at
yeah. I mean, it's Bohm because like his is the one I think is most real. Like JT made it seem like he'd be fine. Like they just want to give him the weekend, and they thought they could beat the Marlins without him.
Exactly.
That's what I thought they were doing with Bohm. Like they were winning the time, and I thought they were like extending it. Like, okay, we don't need to rush you back. So,
well, especially the way they talked about it at first, like the way they were like, don't think it's going to be IL, this and that.
Let's get a PSA out there. We need to stop just believing what they say.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because it's been 2 years of this where it's like he's fine. You know, Reese Hoskins is hop skipping and jumping in the clubhouse.
Right after. Yeah, I saw I'm walking. He's walking around, looking good.
Damn near sprinting from what we heard. Like
and he's done.
And he's done for the year. They're just it's not like it's just I can't do the whole positive injury update thing. Like until he's on the field, he's on the IL.
Yeah, honestly, I don't love the way Sirianni goes about it either. But I would rather have the I'm not telling you anything about it.
Yes,
than the
he's fine. He's no big deal.
Yeah, just be like, I don't know. Sorry. Like, whatever. Like,
do what Chip did.
Yeah, do what Chip did. Exactly.
Chip said I haven't talked to the doctor yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll talk to the doctor.
Like, Chip, you definitely talk to the doctor. It's
Like,
Friday.
come on, man. Like, don't lie to us. Like, lie to us.
Lie. I want to be Rob. I want to be lied to.
I need it.
Say he's never going to come back. I don't know. Like, this whole, like, that's why the JT. It's like, JT said yesterday, yeah, I feel fine. I'll be back. Like, he's done. He's done. You'll see you in 2 weeks.
I mean, if Topper's like, oh, Bum's fine. It's like, well, actually, I feel like there's a hammer hitting me in the hand.
Who's he talking to? Who is Rob Thompson talking to with the injuries? Like, it doesn't make any sense. How does it go from he's fine, I'll be back in a day to IL spot? It feels like a hammer is hitting my elbow or my wrist. It's ridiculous. Please start lying about the injuries. I don't want to have. I would rather have my hopes crushed.
Yeah, I don't want hope. I'd rather
hope that kills you. We've been saying that for podcast for years.
That's the thing is, don't give us hope. Then Boom comes back in a couple weeks. We're like, look at this. It's fine. It's so great. How about that?
A quick look. They always did it right with Bryce. Bryce was like, it's done for half the year. Bang, shows up May 4th.
Yeah, you're right. Set expectations low and blast those expectations out of the water.
That's what we look for. That's all we care about.
Yeah, it's smart.
That's all we care about. Keep the expectations.
Let us be running these things. Yeah.
Once again.
Listen, if you guys need some help over there, we're here.
Listen, High Hopes resume. Brian Barber.
Yep.
Caleb Cotham.
Yep.
Not Dave Dombrowski.
Nope. Bryce Harper.
You want to trade, and I didn't think they were getting it. So that one doesn't count. But think of the movements that we have put out there. Yeah. The injury one might be number one though. Like
I like this, like to the top of the list.
Please stop giving us hope.
Yeah, seriously though. I mean, I just
say you have to talk to the doctors.
Honestly, we do bits, we do jokes. This is like stone cold good advice. Okay, this is not a bit. Like this is not a thing. Like this is Philadelphia Phillies. Listen to us. Stop giving positive injury updates. Like it doesn't do anyone any good in any situation.
No, just again, we'll see him on the field.
Yeah.
But at this point, I'll see. I guess Bomer game 1 of the NLDS.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. But yeah, the injury stuff, it's real, it's concerning. And then the old vintage Nola on Saturday. I can't kill him.
He's been really good.
Yes.
And the last 2 starts prior was a couple of his best. I think the one you were like, that was the best
he's looked in a while.
Yeah. Like it was just to your point, especially against the Marlins, like we're taking right back to 2020 and all that. It felt so familiar. It really did.
So Saturday, and this is, whenever I get like this, things usually go wrong. just putting that one out there.
Running 6 miles and all this.
No, but when I get to the mode of where I feel like I can let my guard down.
Yeah, it's the worst possible thing. Yeah.
It's like kick your feet up, Jack is not a Jack that anyone needs.
No.
Because when I feel like I can kick my feet up, bang, they lose 6 straight. So but I got
you got it. You got to always be ready. You got to head on a swivel.
I know.
Guard up.
But I thought I was fine when they won 16-2, and they have Nola on the mound, and they scored in the first, and they whatever. And I was like, all right, they're fine, because I was at a wedding in Annapolis all Saturday. So usually I'd be like, sneak in the corner and watch the game.
Like, they got it.
I'm like, they're fine. And then I was looking at it. And I was like, Nola. It was like, all right, they came back. They it's close enough. And then all of a sudden, it's like Nola. I was like, oh, jeez. So then I went and watched the condensed game of it, and it was like if they weren't in the position they are, like if they weren't in like a pretty healthy spot, not injury wise,
right,
overall
record wise,
because we on this podcast are serious about injury.
We did not a bit.
I
can't emphasize it enough.
But like if they weren't in a pretty healthy situation, it would have been an excruciating experience.
Oh yeah,
a Marlins team that is gutted.
Oh, it's disaster.
Nola
one of the worst in baseball.
Walking guys with 2 outs to set up an inning. Like it would, if they weren't in a good spot, this would be a different tone of the podcast because that would have been an all-time Phillies Marlins.
Especially that loss and then the 10-0, as we're saying, yesterday, like the follow-up, like we would have been on Saturday watching that, and then we get 10-0 yesterday. We're coming in here melting the freak down to that.
People would have said, all right, we're moving Sanchez up a day.
I know.
We're not spending Seth Johnson on a Sunday when we against the Marlins when we need to win. So yeah, it was an annoying split. Ultimately, like they lucked out yesterday.
With the Brewers losing.
Well, the Brewers lost and the Mets lost.
Yeah.
And the Mets were up 1-0 in the 7th, I think. And then they blew it in the end, which is good because they won 9 straight.
Yeah, they've been white hot.
They've been the best record in baseball since London, right?
Since London.
It's awesome.
It's great.
It's awesome.
Just so you want. Well, and also, I mean, the Philly, like if the Phillies fall behind the Brewers and the Mets will probably be the 6th seed if they get it. I mean, I would. Mets in the first round come here best of 3.
Yeah, so the Mets, they have a field on them. They definitely have a field on them. I've been worried about the Mets since the OMG song came out with Jose
the Grimace
Iglesias.
stuff too. The whole Grimace thing was
annoying.
Yeah.
And I keep waiting for them to Mets, and they haven't really Mets in a while.
Lindor's been great.
I like David Stearns a lot, so I think he's a really good GM. The one thing that I feel pretty good about if they play the Mets is like I'm not afraid of their rotation
at all.
Like,
is Jose Quintana going to start playing? Sean Manaea, like who?
Manaea's been really good.
He's been great for them. I mean, Manaea's going to start a playoff game though.
Listen, there's one guy that I was mocked by you in my perfect offseason that I wanted Phillies to sign. Luis Severino.
Oh, it was mine. I did mock you.
Yeah,
I mocked you.
I believe you used the term cooked.
Yeah.
And
he's been pretty good up there.
Good.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's good. No, you're right.
No, he's good.
You know what? That's fair though. I take a victory.
Manaea's been really good too.
I mocked you pretty relentlessly about that. So, yeah.
Well, you know. I lose Seth Johnson. Well, we haven't lost Seth Johnson yet.
Yeah, there you go.
Still
He's
believe.
Back. There you go.
Just needs to spend the entire offseason with a camera and developing different off-speed
We certainly
pitches.
lost Seth Johnson for this season. Let's hope.
Well, who's going to start? Well, Colby Allard.
I was just about to say, who'd have think we'd be sitting here saying,
begging.
Thank God that Colby Allard is back. Who'd have thunk that which, you know, we won't talk about your earlier takes on Colby Allard.
Yeah, well, listen, wasn't a fan. And now I need him. So
no, we love Colby Allard.
Love
That's
him.
our guy, man.
And it's so funny because you keep saying to yourself, right? You just keep talking. It's like, okay, we only need the 5th starter 3 more times. But my God, it's just a week ruiner.
I know.
How did we get to this point where the 5th starter, Spencer Turnbull?
It's so funny because it's like it's an ongoing bit, whether it's the center fielder, whether it's the bullpen, like no matter how good the Phillies are, no matter how far they go in the playoffs, we always find a point in the season, and this is annoying because it's the end of the season, where we find a way to have the worst in the sport at something.
And it feels that way.
I mean, there's a lot of bad 5th starters, but like they're arguably they never win when the 5th starter pitches. Like you can't be worse.
Are they 0 for their last 11?
So I know they had not won a tie.
They didn't want a Taiwan start in 9
May, except for the one that the relief in Toronto.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
Yeah. So, but
that was
started.
the first one that he appeared in that they had
the
won.
Tyler Phillips start. And I just in watching the.
But again, that's another fit. They won the game. That's another 5th star game. I mean, like they've just been other than when Colby Allard's pitched, they've been horrendous.
Yeah. Well, and I didn't like the situation on Saturday. Like it wasn't obviously locked in on the game, but just in watching the condensed version, like it looked like Taiwan was throwing like a special slop up there.
Oh my God! It
was,
so it's so
somehow
funny.
looked worse.
So it's so funny. I'll always I watch games with Emily, like we're watching the games at night, and whenever a position player comes in, like I'll be like, oh, you like obviously it's busy, like because if you don't know his name, like the Helsley guy or whatever, the guy who pitched on Friday night, I didn't know who he was other than I saw him. I'm like, oh, that's position.
You didn't know who he was?
No.
You don't remember him from the 2022 Astros that ruined our life?
No, I don't.
He was in the World Series.
Okay. Either way, I saw him and I'm like, oh, that's a position player. I'm like, and she's like, how do you know? And I'm like, just look. And then she looked and she's like, oh, you could tell. Like Taiwan looks like a position player pitching. He does. Like if you don't know any better and you look up, you'd be like, oh, it's that. They're like third baseman or something pitching because they're down a bunch of. He does though. He doesn't look like a pitcher. He looks like a position player up there just tossing.
Yeah, it was a different level of Taiwan slop, which is already not exactly the most awe-inspiring.
Yeah,
it is so funny that the 5th spot's gotten so bad. People are like, I don't know, bring Taiwan.
I know, like, seriously, flipped it all the way.
I'll tell you what. Andrew Painter's going to look really good in that spot.
Oh, is he ever, buddy?
Next year.
Ever.
His first rehab, I guess, is 15 pitches.
I heard.
So get excited. Hit 99.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, it's great.
He's
Hopefully he's good.
At least he is coming in with because there's always going to any top best pitching prospect ever for the Phillies. Like I said, there's always going to be pressure. At least he is coming into like a nice landing spot where it's like, well,
you're just the fifth guy.
Can't be worse than what we dealt with.
Yeah. Well, I wonder what they're going to. I mean, they're obviously going to manage his innings, so maybe that's part of the reason they're keeping Taijuan around.
Well, we all know the reason they're keeping Taijuan is because they stole him $36 million.
Sure.
Yeah,
I want to give him a shot next year.
Look, with this specific thing with like the money's already there. Like why not? I mean, like what you never know with your development, maybe in the off season you figure out something where you add a little velocity, like who knows? But like I can't imagine that Taijuan Walker is a part of their plans.
No. But they are going to need to have a real sixth option.
Well, we're seeing it this year, right? I mean, like because of Taijuan being so bad, but Taijuan bad, then injuries and this. I mean, they've gone through like 5 or 6 guys in that spot. Like Termo was supposed to be the guy. He got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You need dudes.
Bring him back.
You just right. You need dudes. Like you just need arms. So
yeah. Well, yeah, and
especially for the course of a season.
Not to get too into the 2025 Phillies, but especially because Painter is like obviously going to be an innings limit. Yeah. They're going to need a 6th starter. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm with you. Colby Allard.
Colby Allard
for it right now.
Yeah, give him an extension. Build a team around.
Whips it in there, man.
Oh, we got a lot of lefties.
I know.
A lot.
Remember we had none.
No.
That was like something the Phillies were just not.
Their last. There was a stretch there where Adam Morgan was their last left-handed starter.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got?
We start naming random
I was
again.
thinking about it. We should. Yeah.
Josh Johnson.
Jake Peavy. Brad Penny.
Brad Penny's a good poll.
Thank you.
Ricky Nolasco.
Oh, we're just gonna go Marlins.
Yeah.
AJ Burnett.
Chris Volstad.
How long do we want to do this for? Levon Hernandez.
Levon Hernandez is a good poll.
Yeah, I was a stud for them. Won a World Series for him.
Heath Bell was a Marlin. Remember when they signed Jose Reyes, Heath Bell, and Mark Burley?
Sure.
In an offseason, and they were horrible.
Yeah. Good times. Yeah. So
Anibal Sanchez.
I mean, we're not. We're still gonna keep going.
Trying to think of all the Marlin starters. Like Wei and Chen.
Was it Wilson Valdez down there for a moment?
Or
no, Wilson Heredia.
That's a random name. Dontrell Willis. You know what's so funny as I've gotten older, and this is one of my I like it in a way, but it's also very weird to me. But it's like there's like we talk to the younger producers here, obviously like Justin Morgenstein, right? And love Justin Morgenstein.
Justin.
But
He's my guy.
But like his beginning of baseball knowledge is like 2010.
I know.
So like if I brought out Dontrell Willis, that's like these guys have no idea what I'm talking about.
No.
When we bring up Dontrell.
I know.
Well, meanwhile, Dontrell Willis was like the coolest pitcher in baseball for
like it's like there was like a 3-month span where it was like that is the dude.
Dontrell Willis and Tim Lincecum, the two nastiest, shortest peaks.
Yeah, I mean, Lincecum won 2 Cy Young.
Yeah, I know.
He was freaking awesome.
I know. Brad Penny started an All-Star game.
He did. Yeah, they had dudes, man. The Marlins brought guys in and out. Like, they had some arms.
Burnett never reached his potential down there.
No. He was talented though.
Oh, dude,
he won a World Series against us, sadly.
Former Phil.
Yeah, and a former Yankee.
Who could forget 2014 AJ Burnett? And then he left here and then was discussing again for the Pirates, which was
he was
beyond annoying.
Yeah, well, it was annoying. He had a nice year there. Was it 2 years? Even?
Yeah, I think he retired in 15 or 16.
That's enough. That's enough. No, take back.
I really like Connor Norby. I know he had like
he had like
8 home runs against us in 2 games, but like if there's one Marlins player that
you could have,
it could be like a real problem, like I think it's Connor Norby.
I love it.
Like they've always had talent. Like Jake Berger, I'm not buying the what do you have? Does he have 25 home runs? And have he's the second most in baseball in the second half. Like not really buying Jake Berger. He's more of like Norby's a foundational piece.
Yeah, Norby's good, and Jake Berger's a Major League Baseball player.
Yeah, just I don't know if a winning baseball player.
No, certainly not playing third base.
Certainly not playing third base. But Connor Norby might be causing some problems for us for a good stretch until they trade him.
That was a good trade by them.
Dude, Trevor Rogers for Norby? You kidding me?
I know.
But the good part is they won't pay him, and then he can come here.
Yeah, there you go.
Look
at you.
We can get him. And then just like some good numbers, I guess. I have a
Love numbers.
last
Thanks, Eddie.
15 games for
You get
these.
some good, numbers, I think.
Last 15 games for these two. Stott and Marsh. So Stott's last 15, 359 with a 964 OPS.
Ooh.
And Marshy, 353 with an 11, like a 1019 OPS. So, like, once they're hopefully healthy, and you obviously feel good about, again, Schwarber in September is a 1400 OPS. It's insane. Trey, hot and cold, had the home run on Friday.
Just gotta hope he's hot.
Still, it's such a coin flip when the ball's hit his way.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I know that one where he doesn't like to put his body in front of the ball enough.
No one does these days.
I know, but that we grew up with that. Get your body in front of it, man.
I'm teaching Walk to get the body in front of it.
Yes.
So
many of Trey Turner's errors come because he doesn't get his body in front of the ball. And I know that one was hit pretty hard, and it was like, but he had a chance. He could have put his body in front of it, and instead he's like, I'm gonna swipe it from the side, and it went right by him.
So I've never been a big analytics guy for defense. I just think it's flawed mostly.
It's really hard. Yeah, they're imperfect.
But fielding percentage wise, Trey is top 5 in fielding percentage among shortstops.
Is he really?
And of all the advanced metrics, he's pretty much like him and CJ Abrams are like the worst.
Yeah. It's clear. I mean,
defensive advanced.
I mean, we always say, we love our analytics, but we're eye test men.
Yeah.
First and foremost, and you don't have to watch that many Phillies games to see Trey Turner not a good shortstop, definitively.
And that decision is gonna come sooner than I think they thought.
So I look, it should be made now. Let's be complete, not in this season right this second, I'm saying, but Trey Turner should be moved off of shortstop. He is not good at the position. It's too important a defensive position to put him out there just because you paid him. But they paid him $300 million to be the shortstop for a long time. I agree with you. I think it'll get there, but I don't think it's coming yet. I think they give him next year, and then I think that is discuss it. Yeah, and it's to the Bryce point you made before, where it's this is clearly a Bryce decision. Sadly, I think it's going to be at least for a little while, a trade decision. I don't think if he does not want to move off shortstop, I don't think they force him to move off yet.
Was I thinking about Starlin Caba this morning?
Oh,
of course, Caba there.
80 grade.
Yeah, 80 grade.
80, dude. I mean,
80
that's
grade.
Come on.
80 grade. Now figure out where Aiden plays.
Yeah.
And like we always said.
You don't even need to hit. If you're an 80 grade shortstop, you can be Johan Ross.
We do always say that, but then it's
then it's Johan Ross.
Pretty
By the way, real quick, can we give Johan a little credit? We didn't mention it.
A triple?
Dude, he belted a ball off the center field wall. I was like, what is this? He had doubled the game of 4-2,
picking it up.
Yeah.
But my only problem with that was I saw Christian Pache hit a ball there. Saved the season last year. So I can't get too caught up. But I need him to just be serviceable because the defense is obviously the defense. But the Trey thing is definitely concerning. But if you get stock going, and I know things can change, but at least they're showing signs of life, him and Marsh.
Big time. It's super important.
It just lengthens the lineup. Cassie's stayed pretty it's not like he's launching home runs, but
he's been fine.
He's been fine.
Yeah.
He's been fine. And JT's been pretty fine, as hopefully his injury's okay.
He's been much better. Early in the season it was uh-oh.
I know.
And he's been okay.
And JT has been an underrated great postseason player the last 2 years.
You're right.
Overall numbers last 2 postseasons, he's been one of their best guys. So
that's a good point.
He is.
Yeah, no, you're right. We always talk about Schwarber's numbers in the playoffs and Harper and these guys. You're right. We've not talked much about how good JT's been in the playoffs. And
but it just makes the lineup look that much better. So it's good to see those guys picking it up. And now, with Sosa being out, it's Stott's playing every night.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're gonna see Cody Clemens a lot more with the Bohm injury as well. And
dude, how about Weston Wilson making a diving play yesterday?
Unbelievable. Yeah, it is funny too. I never would have thought, a year ago, whatever, that Bohm would go out and you'd be like, wow, what a downgrade.
I know, dude. Well, Cody Clemens, who's been great, he threw a ball maybe into the fifth row.
I said to Emily, I said this honestly, I don't know if I've ever seen an infielder throw a ball higher. It went out of the frame. You couldn't see the ball anymore in the frame. I don't guys will lose them. You'll see guys. I don't ever remember one going that high from third to first.
Because it was right out of hand.
It was unbelievable. It just took off.
Yeah. It's an odd one.
I know.
It's kind of a weird throw because I don't know, you can't get a lot on it, but you need to throw it pretty hard.
Yeah.
So he just got caught in between it.
Yeah, I did. Clearly, it just took off on him, but I definitely can't remember one going that high above the first baseman.
Yeah. So listen, it's gonna be The Rays, they've won the last 2 series against. They took 2 or 3 from the Orioles
And
this
they're the
weekend.
Rays. They're the Rays. You know, you never take 'em
Annoying,
too
still
lightly.
pretty good.
Yeah.
The Mets series this weekend is gonna be
Well,
hopefully a lot of fun.
Mets series this weekend leading into the Brewers next week.
Yeah.
So it's Mets this weekend and 3 against the Brewers. So it's like big stretch of baseball coming up here, especially for a team that, you know, we're like, oh, where are they at right now? What are we going to see?
End the season.
Please.
I want to feel, because again, I walked out this morning, you know, and it's like, this is October. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah, you feel it.
This weather is like, I need to be surrounded by 46,000, you know, feeling like the red rally towels, which are not as great as the old white rally towels. They're fine.
It's what they have to do.
But just like, I'm ready for October.
Me too.
I'm ready for October.
Me too.
I don't want to deal with the stressors of the end of the season.
Yeah, I couldn't agree
But guess
more.
what? We're going.
Guess what? Life doesn't work like that. So sadly, we'll be here. Yes, and we'll be back after the Phase series. We'll keep talking to you, and we'll feel our way through it. All right, you got anything else?
I don't believe I have anything.
I had nothing to begin with.
Yeah.
I was gonna just come on and be like, so guys got hurt, and it was more than that. So that was pretty good.
Well,
Nice job.
What we do.
That's what we do. All right, we'll be back after the Rays series. Until then, he's Fritz himself.